How's it going, fellow internet enthusiasts, and welcome to another video. Today we're taking a trip down memory lane to revisit a web series that helped shape gamer culture in the 2000s, and that series is Pure Pwnage. Before Twitch streamers became millionaires, before YouTube gaming channels dominated the internet, before esports became mainstream, there was Pure Pwnage, a niche little Canadian web series about a socially dysfunctional pro gamer living in his mom's basement that somehow became one of the most iconic shows of the 2000s, and would even go on to help shape internet gamer culture as a whole for generations to come. But like with most things on the internet that see insane levels of success, it would eventually have its inevitable demise. From production problems, to a failed TV adaptation, and even tragedy behind the scenes, Pure Pwnage truly had a wild ride through its runtime, and that's what we'll be taking a look back at in today's video. This is the story of one of the internet's earliest cult classics, a true relic of internet history. This is the story of Pure Pwnage. So sit back, grab a snack, and let's get going. But first, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. It helps out massively. Now, allow me to take you on a nostalgic trip. Part 1. The Internet before YouTube. To understand the journey Pure Pwnage went on, you first have to remember what the internet looked like in 2004. You couldn't just access it from a couple of taps on your smartphone. YouTube didn't exist yet. Streaming wasn't the massive thing it is today, and gaming culture was very different. Back then, gamers were still seen as awkward basement-dwelling nerds, and it wasn't a hobby you'd necessarily go out and share with the world. But that's not to say there wasn't a still massive amount of people out there enjoying the hobby in a more discreet manner. This was a magical period in which it truly felt the start of something new and extraordinary, the start of something that would grow to exponential heights, the start of online gaming. LAN parties were huge, Counter-Strike was everywhere, World of Warcraft was exploding, and online gaming communities were slowly starting to emerge, mostly hosted on forums and early forms of voice chatting platforms. That was the landscape from within Jarrett Kale and Jeff Lepere came up with Pure Pwnage. The concept was simple. What if someone made a mockumentary about a professional gamer who took gaming way too seriously? A concept that would inspire many television shows to come in the decades to follow, but at the time, a concept that was incredibly unique and fresh to the newly forming online world. So that's what they set out to create. But in order for Pure Pwnage to go on to become one of the first ever great online mockumentaries to see massive success, they needed some way to share their vision with the world, because YouTube was not around yet. And they do just that by creating their very own website, which they'd call purepwnage.com, a website that still lives on to this day. This site would go on to be a massive part of gamers' lives throughout the 2000s, as they check in daily in hopes of some more Pure Pwnage videos, or even some new merch to pick up and show off to their friends. I still remember to this day the first time one of my friends got their own Pure Pwnage shirt back in high school, and wanted to get myself one of them so badly as well, but my parents wouldn't let me use their credit card. All these years later, as I sit here looking back on a show I grew up with a credit card of my own, I think it's about time I picked myself up one of these bad boys and fulfilled a childhood dream. But with their concept primed for success, and a site created that would consistently pump out quality content, there was nowhere but up for the Pure Pwnage team to go. Part 2. The Rise of Pure Pwnage. The first episode of Pure Pwnage would release in May 2004, and almost immediately, it spread through gaming forums like wildfire. But what made their success even more special was that you have to remember this was a time before social media algorithms. People shared things manually, and they'd only share things if they truly loved it. So the fact that this show was naturally making its way across the interwebs is just all the more impressive. It was obvious, gamers loved Pure Pwnage. Why? Because it felt authentic. Even though it was fictional, the show perfectly captured early online gaming culture. The trash talk, the ego, the obsession with FPS games, the weird internet slang, the all-night gaming sessions. It felt like it was made by gamers instead of executives trying to market to gamers. The authenticity made the series feel almost real. In fact, early on, some viewers genuinely weren't sure whether Jeremy was an actual person or a character. The creators even stayed in character during interviews for a while, and honestly, that blurred reality made the series even funnier. But this was also a time before internet content became so popular and formulaic. Back then, there was no weekly upload schedules for channels, and you'd never know when you get your next fix of Pure Pwnage. Sometimes you get an episode every month, and other times you'd have to wait several months just for one more episode. In the meantime, you'd be constantly refreshing the website hoping for a new episode to pop up, and then getting all of your friends together to gleefully watch it when it finally did. The pure joy and excitement you'd feel when you'd see the Raffle and Mao Productions logo, followed by the introduction sequence at the start of each episode, knowing you were in for a good time.
I am the Pwnage, bitches.
Pure Pwnage.
But just how long the content you receive would be wasn't always guaranteed. Sometimes you get a 10-minute video, others up to 50 minutes. It was all so chaotic and random, but yet still so magical at the same time. Because the show is being uploaded to their official website, accurate view counts for every episode can't truly be calculated, but it felt like everyone that considered themselves a gamer at the time knew about and was watching Pure Pwnage. Several years down the line, as YouTube started becoming popular, they also go on to upload their videos onto a channel called Kyle PP, and from there, we can get an idea of just how popular it was, with the videos garnering hundreds of thousands of views, even as re-uploads being posted years later after everyone had already seen each episode. But what was it that truly made the show so good? Part 3. The characters. Sure, the concept of the show was really solid, and the writing as well, but what truly made this show so amazing was the characters we meet and fall in love with along the way. First, there was the heart and soul of the series, Jeremy.
Okay, it's like my show. Just gonna make a show. I'm like the star, and stuff, right? And my roommate Kyle's like on the camera. Like you can't see him because he's like holding it and like pointing at me and stuff. My name's Jeremy. You might know me as like the owner, cause that's like what I do.
Jeremy, aka the owner, was the pro gamer that the show centered around and was played by Jarrett McHale. He wore his signature black bandana with a black shirt donning the phrase "I own noobs" on it, a look that would become iconic throughout the gaming world. But Jeremy didn't just look the part, he talked the talk. He would speak as if he was a martial arts master, treating video games like life or death combat, and his gamer-related speak, what was then dubbed as elite speak, became a mainstream stead within gamer culture. A lot of the humor behind this series stemmed from the fact that Jeremy genuinely believed he was an elite digital warrior, and somehow, he was weirdly convincing. Jeremy was the star of the show, but it was the supporting characters that made the world feel alive around him. First, you had his brother Kyle, who was played by Jeff Lepere. Kyle was the socially awkward cameraman who followed Jeremy around, documenting his life as a supposed elite pro gamer.
What are you doing?
Just taking some test footage.
Oh, it's for your class or whatever?
Yeah. Actually, I do need someone to be the subject of a documentary for my film class. Do you mind if I follow you around and film you?
Yeah.
So it's cool?
No, yeah, I mind, Kyle.
Jeremy, it's not going to be a big deal. I'll just follow you around. You just do what you normally do.
Kyle, I'm a busy guy. I got Clan Wars tomorrow. I can't be taking time off. I'll be noobified.
I'll buy you a smoked meat sandwich.
When?
Tomorrow.
Okay, fine, Kyle. One day. Just one day. I'm busy. I don't need complications.
Don't worry, nothing bad's going to happen.
Kyle played as a comedic foil to Jeremy's over-the-top ego, filming the series, asking questions, reacting to the chaos, and often got himself dragged into absurd gaming situations despite being much more grounded than Jeremy. He quickly became a fan favorite, as he'd often react to the ridiculous situations that occurred in the series in a believable, understandable way, which made the comedy work. Many fans saw Kyle as the emotional anchor of the series, the character who made the fake documentary format feel authentic while still being funny, and they got to experience the world of Pure Pwnage through his eyes. Then, you had arguably the most iconic character of the show, and Jeremy's hyperactive best friend, Doug, aka FPS Doug.
So you want me in the show then?
Yeah, for sure. Just introduce yourself.
Introduce Kate. What's up? I'm Doug! Fuck!
Doug, played by Joel Gardner, was the show's parody of the obsessive first-person shooter gamer, something that was very relatable at the time, as games like Counter-Strike and Call of Duty were taking the internet by storm. He spent nearly all his time playing FPS games, constantly chasing headshots and treating FPS mechanics like real-life logic. Fans would grow to love him throughout the series for how exaggerated he acted as he blurred the lines between games and reality, practicing imaginary shooting drills in parking lots, screaming at monitors, smashing keyboards after dying, and believing things like running with a knife makes you faster, because that's how it works in Counter-Strike.
You wanna go for a jog, man? We can go for a jog.
Okay, but what are you doing with a knife?
What do you mean? I run faster with a knife. Everyone runs faster with a knife.
But let's be honest, he might actually be right about that. He'd go on to coin the catchphrase "boom headshot," which became one of the most iconic gaming memes of the era, possibly becoming even bigger than the series as a whole.
Boom headshot! Boom headshot! I can dance all day! Try to hit me! Come on! Boom headshot! Yeah! Dude! Take that, bitch! So this is my PC here. It owns!
FPS Doug captured the chaotic energy of competitive online shooters before esports and streaming became mainstream, and will forever be remembered by any gamer who was around in the 2000s. Later on, we get introduced to another of Jeremy's friends, in Dave.
Actually, my name is Dwayne, but the white barbarians call me Dave.
Dave's like a pretty funny guy that way sometimes, and it's handy to have him around because he's so funny, you know?
Dave, played by Dave Lee, was a calm, highly skilled gamer with amazing cooking skills and a bit of a darker backstory. He was a very much contrast to the loud, chaotic gamer personalities around him, and he mostly acted as the quiet, cool head of the group. When he wasn't cooking for the group, he would be helping Jeremy out of trouble, often showing up last minute to save the day. His deadpan reactions and intense stares at the camera saw him become such a fan favorite that he'd even go on to get his own spin-off cooking show on the channel called Pro at Cooking with Dave.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I've got my greens and I'm cooking with Dave. So grab your pots and come cooking with Dave. We're cooking with Dave. Just pro at cooking.
It was also the depiction of the fighting game genre gamer of the group. Next up, we'd be introduced to Jeremy's main love interest of the show, Anastasia, or as Jeremy would call her, Taji, because that was what her World of Warcraft character was called.
Jeremy, this is my friend Anastasia. This is Jeremy. Jeremy really likes to play computer games. Anastasia likes playing computer games too. Yeah.
Why does your boyfriend have a camera?
I don't know, he does that sometimes.
What kind of games do you play?
Well, like World of Warcraft.
What's that? Like,
It's an MMO.
Warcraft and an MMO at the same time, eh? Like, that's cool.
I really like Minesweeper. That's my favorite.
So what, you guys want some drinks? What do you guys want?
Balls?
Anastasia, played by Miranda Plant, was Jeremy's girlfriend and one of the few people who could pull him away from purely competitive gaming. She loved World of Warcraft, and she introduced a different side of gamer culture to the show. What made Anastasia special was that she wasn't just the gamer girl, she represented a different philosophy of gaming. Jeremy treated games like war and competition, while Anastasia saw gaming as social, emotional, and community driven. Their relationship became one of the show's biggest character arcs. Jeremy would even become addicted to WoW because of her, and later on attempt to break her addiction to the game when he felt she'd become too obsessed with it. This would, however, lead to their eventual breakup. Anastasia ended up becoming a fan favorite because she felt believable. She was funny, independent, flawed, and it felt like she actually understood gaming culture because her character was being written by actual gamers. Then, late into Season 2, Jeremy would add another to his friend group in Terrence Brown, aka Teabag.
Could have made that much too if I wasn't so busy. You know, like owning noobs like you.
You just called me the N-word? Yo, you did not just call me the N-word!
I did.
You know what? Let's just squash this, man. My name's Terrence. My friends call me Teabag.
Hey, Teabag. Jeremy.
Cool.
Friends call me the owner.
Teabag was the overconfident gamer and self-proclaimed ladies' man of the group, who constantly exaggerated his skills, stories, and social status. He was primarily a Halo player, who was the only one of the group that was actually making good money from gaming, thanks to all of his sponsors. Troy Dixon played the role with such commitment and authenticity that the audience immediately fell in love with the character. And finally, we'll be introduced to Jeremy's mentor, the man himself, the Masterer.
There will always be opposition, because there will always be news. Mock them, own them, but never hate them. For without news, we would not be leaked.
Voiced by William Leonard Craig, but played by Jeff Lepere, the series creator, and the man who played Kyle, the Masterer always wore a full ninja outfit, revealing nothing more than his eyes. He was a mysterious master gamer who trained Jeremy and others in the way of being a pro gamer. His micro ability was so profound that he could play multiple video games at the same time. As the series progressed, fans would go on to love his dramatic speeches, exaggerated seriousness, and mentor-rival dynamic with Jeremy. He's often remembered as one of the standout side characters in Pure Pwnage because he elevated the show's mock documentary gaming humor into something almost mythic, adding a ton of action to the series. The chemistry that this small group of people had was truly amazing, and it was a huge reason to why Pure Pwnage was such a massive success. Underneath all the jokes, the show actually understood lonely internet culture before most media did. It understood online friendships, it understood escapism, and it understood how gaming could become part of someone's identity. That's partly why so many people still remember it to this day, so many years later. But as the show began to rise in popularity online, the mainstream media started to take notice, and that's when Showcase came calling. Part 4, From Web Series to Television. By 2010, Pure Pwnage had become one of the biggest independent web series on the internet. It reportedly had millions of viewers worldwide, and eventually, Canadian television network Showcase decided it was time to take the web series and turn it into a TV show. At first, fans were excited. This was a huge deal. A web series becoming a television show at this point in time was unheard of. The series was already hilarious. Imagine what they could do with even more financial backing. But at the same time, fans were also nervous, because historically, when TV networks attempted to adapt internet culture, things usually went very badly. So, in 2010, when the series finally premiered, fans went in nervously, not sure if they could actually recreate what they'd been getting for so many years on national television. And honestly, it wasn't bad. I actually really enjoyed it personally. It still had Jeremy, it still had Kyle, it still had FPS Doug, but something felt slightly different. The raw internet energy that made the original series special was harder to recreate inside a traditional TV format, and had to be toned down slightly. The original web episodes felt messy and authentic. The show felt more polished, and ironically, the polish removed some of the charm. Plus, you no longer had Dave, Anastasia, or Teabag, some of the absolute fan favorites the original series got everyone to fall in love with. But this wasn't necessarily their fault, as some would move on from the project of their own accord, and in the tragic case of Troy Dixon, he would sadly pass away on December 6, 2008, in a car accident. Rest in peace, Troy. You truly brought so much joy to so many people.
Alright, birthday boy. Here's a gift. Enjoy it. Sponsors, man. I just made a phone call.
The writers would introduce new characters in the TV show to try fill the void left from the original cast, and although they did do a good job, I still preferred the chemistry between the original cast. My favorite new addition was the introduction of October, played by Melanie Scrofano.
Right on schedule. Nice new bike, Steve.
That's what you get, Steve, you ninja! Fuck!
Wasn't that your guild leader?
Get in the car.
She not only filled the romance role of the series that Anastasia left behind, but the World of Warcraft gamer as well. Then you'd get Tyrell, played by Eli Gore, taking over the Teabag archetype left behind by Troy Dixon.
Me! Hey, it's Tyrell. You met at Onageddon last year? You play Xbox Live like all the time.
Oh, Tyrell!
Then there was Simon, played by Simon Wong, who played the more serious character on the show, owning the internet cafe the group liked to play in.
Looks matter a lot. Since October started working, business increased 15%. That's because she's better looking than me.
We'd also finally get to meet some of the parents of the cast, which led to some memorable moments, especially from Jeremy's mother.
He's a gamer. All of his friends are gamers. Was that it? Am I done now?
There's nothing else you want to say about Jeremy.
Frankly, Kyle, this is very embarrassing for me.
Why is it embarrassing?
How many mothers do you know who let their 26-year-old son live at home who doesn't have a job, he doesn't do any chores, he doesn't do anything? I'm still paying for his food and his clothes.
And Doug's as well.
Oh, Dougie. Here's $10. Go play somewhere else and don't come home before 4 o'clock, okay, sweet pea?
Nice!
Not before 4 o'clock, okay?
No worries, Mom. Get game all day on $10. Woohoo!
Why does your mom always make you leave the house?
I don't know. It's awesome. She gives me $10. Oh, it's up, Eric.
All of these actors did a great job, and the writers made a really entertaining show, certainly more entertaining than a lot of the other shows that were on TV at the time that kept getting renewed. However, Showcase did not seem to agree, which would lead to the show's inevitable demise. Part 5, the beginning of the end. It may have just been a case of bad timing, but after season 1 had aired to decent reception, it seemed to just be the perfect storm of issues that would lead to the show not being renewed for a second season, essentially putting the nail in the coffin of a show that so many of us grew up with and loved. First, we had the ratings. Despite so many people liking what they saw, Showcase didn't feel like the ratings quite met their expectations. Couple that with the fact that we're also in the process of moving in a different programming direction, focusing less on comedies and more on drama and reality TV, it wasn't looking good for Pure Pwnage. And the final straw that broke the camel's back was the fact that the show just came slightly too early. Gaming culture was on the rise in a big way back then, but it wasn't the Goliath it is today. Now, we have Twitch, the YouTube gaming scene, esports, and tons of gaming-related sitcoms being produced every year because the fanbase is there and ready for it. Back then, it wasn't quite there yet. If the TV show had released in this day and age, I've no doubt it would be renewed for at least a second series, and it might have even gone on to become one of the longest-running gaming shows of all time. Who knows? But it wasn't to be, and Showcase decided to call it quits after one season, leading to the creators of Pure Pwnage announcing in January of 2011 that there would be no season 2, and the original web series would also be placed on indefinite hold. This would spark the beginning of the end of the beloved series. Or would it? Part 6, Pure Pwnage the Movie. As the saying goes, legends never die, and neither will Pure Pwnage. Just when all seemed lost, fans would wake up to the news that they'd be hoping to hear for ages. On September 19th, 2012, Pure Pwnage fans would get the amazing news that an official crowdfunding campaign would begin to aid in funding a Pure Pwnage movie. The fans showed out in droves, as the campaign would go on to raise over 200,000 Canadian dollars in funding, hitting its initial goal of 75,000 Canadian dollars in just over 24 hours. It was a sign that the fan base was still there, and that we still wanted more. We would have to wait a while to get what we wanted. 3 long years later, on November 22nd, 2015, we get our hands on the first trailer. Then, 2 months after that, it was finally the day. Pure Pwnage the movie would premiere on January 23rd, 2016 at the Bloor Cinema in Toronto. It's safe to say, fans loved what they saw, and the movie would even go on to receive the Best Feature Film Award at the 2016 Canadian Comedy Awards. After so many years without new Pure Pwnage content, the movie felt like a perfect reunion, a final chapter for an internet era that had mostly disappeared. Because by 2016, gaming culture had changed dramatically, but the movie adjusted with it very aptly, showing that the creators were still very much in touch with it. The outsider gamer identity that was once the satire within Pure Pwnage back in the early 2000s had basically become mainstream culture. Gaming wasn't some niche hobby anymore that seemed odd to outsiders, it was now normal. The internet grew to something so much bigger than we could have ever imagined that now the majority of the world games in some way or another. But for those of us who remembered how it used to be and grew up with Pure Pwnage, this movie felt special, a perfect end to a perfect series. It was everything you could hope for. Classic gags from the original series, cameos from all the fan favorite characters, a nice ending point for Jeremy's character, and his reunion with Anastasia, who just felt like the right way to end the show. But is it truly over? Part 7, Life After Pure Pwnage. Even though the movie felt like the true endpoint to the series, it might not actually be the final chapter. Recently, a new channel has popped up on YouTube called Pure Pwnage. On it, you can see Jarrett Kale reappearing as the Jeremy character many years in the future, in what seems to be some sort of homeless state.
Sup, I'm Jeremy. I used to be like the best gamer in like the whole world. Then I played WoW and it gave me a coma for like 20 years, which totally sucks. But now I woke up and I'm back.
He's living in the woods, Kyle's nowhere to be seen, and instead, a drone is following him around and filming him. It's all rather cryptic and unknown still, and new videos haven't been posted in a while, but maybe it's a sign that a new chapter in Pure Pwnage's history is coming. If this is your first time hearing about this channel, it'll be linked in the video description. Maybe go give it a watch and show it some support to encourage him to continue on. But in the meantime, we just have to wait and see what happens. If you're still looking for more Pure Pwnage though while you wait, like I know a lot of us are, maybe you haven't heard of their spin-off series yet that you can check out, like Jeremy's Mail Sack.
Jeremy's Mail Sack. Jeremy's Mail Sack.
That came out alongside the original series that would have Jeremy reading fan questions and giving hilarious advice, or Dave's cooking series, Pro at Cooking, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. There's also so many cool behind the scene videos and fan interaction videos you can go check out, either on the Pure Pwnage website or on the Kyle PP YouTube channel, which again, I'll have all linked in the video description. There's even a Pure Pwnage comic book on the website, which I only found out about while researching this video. I know I'm for sure going to be heading over to the merchandise page on the site and picking up some memorabilia of this show, so I'll always have something to remember this iconic series by. Part 8, The Legacy of Pure Pwnage. Though this might be the end of the Pure Pwnage story, it leaves behind something we'll all cherish for an eternity. It's like a time capsule, not just of gaming culture, but of the early internet itself. It came from an era when online communities felt smaller and stranger, when creators were experimenting without algorithms, when people made things because they thought they were funny, not because analytics told them to, or for the financial reward. And in a weird way, Pure Pwnage predicted the future. It predicted gaming influencers, it predicted streamer personalities, it predicted internet celebrities built entirely around gaming culture. Jeremy was basically a proto-streamer years before Twitch existed, and even though the production quality looks dated now, that's part of the charm. It feels human, messy, unpolished, authentic, and for a lot of people who grew up online in the 2000s, it represents a very specific moment in internet history that's never coming back. And for that very reason, it's safe to say Pure Pwnage is well and truly a relic of the internet era. Thanks for coming along with me down memory lane. Let me know your favorite Pure Pwnage characters and memories in the comments below, and let me know which piece of internet history you want me to reminisce about next. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. It helps out massively. And if you'd like to reminisce about another early web series that helped shape gaming culture, in the Guild, click on the video to the left. Or, for some other internet relics, click on the video to the right.
Hey noobs, I'm gonna toy like own you noobs. Cause I own you, like I own you like pretty hard and stuff, right?